push us 3 dimensions away from Marvel's Spider-Man 2, crossing over with Marvel's The Wolverine. I'm your host, 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Spider-Man 2, released in 2023. Spider-Man 2 is a sequel to the Insomniac Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. The game is essentially a continuation that's set, I think, a couple years later, where essentially there is a hunter named Craven the Hunter who is going around New York City trying to capture all the Spider-Man villains to have one last great hunt because of a terminal illness. And so he plans to have his greatest hunt, and plans to die in the hunt. And so essentially, he kidnaps all of Spider-Man's rogues, and it's with the intent to hunt and kill them, or they at least kill him. And so whenever it doesn't happen, whenever he starts killing them all and nothing seems to be working, then eventually he comes across Venom after abducting Dr. Kirk Connors, and essentially Spider-Man, essentially gets when him and Harry Osborn reunite. Apparently, Harry Osborn has a symbiote suit, which was teased at the end of Spider-Man 1, and essentially they team up together to fight a lot of Kraven's men. But then eventually Peter gets brutally wounded by Kraven, and then eventually becomes like black suited Spider-Man. And then Kraven sees that and wants to hunt that from now on. And then once Harry dying and Peter realizing that the Venom suit is evil, essentially it goes on to Harry, and then Harry, of course, becomes the great Venom, and chaos ensures. I really enjoyed this game. I really did. This game has a really great story. I could easily see this as a movie, and I really enjoyed the story. Like, I would watch the cutscenes like just over because like that was so good. I will say Kraven the Hunter is the main villain of this game. If you are expecting Venom to be the main villain, you're going to be sorely disappointed because Venom does not come till mid game. But when he does, he doesn't disappoint. But I'm just saying the game does not feature a lot of Venom. So if you're going to wait a while to play as black suited Spider-Man and to see Venom in the game, because Venom doesn't really come until more like the third act of the game. There is a lot of cool stuff in the game. Like the combat and mechanics are of course great. The web swing, they have like a couple ways to traverse through the game. You have traditional web swinging, and then you have a gliding system that's basically kind of like something compared to a Superman simulator. I would say it's more or less just going through wind tunnels, at a certain speed. And also they also have a fast travel way where once you can get to a certain completion of district activities, you'll essentially be able to just drop in there, and it's really cool. There's a lot of side activities, so you really shouldn't be able to complete this like soon. It should take you a while. I mean, I'm sure someone's can complete this in like a couple of days if they just stay and don't do nothing. But I think the average person would probably take like 2 weeks to beat this game, maybe 3. But I really enjoy this game. The story is really good. And I will say, I think like everybody, I prefer John Burke's face as Spider-Man, but I do think the new guy's face did a really good job in this. I mean, I really believe when he's when he becomes like dark emo Peter, and I really thought it was really good. And I was expecting them to have a lot of nods to Spider-Man 3, which by the way, the game is very heavily inspired by Spider-Man 3, the movie, and the video game tie-in. Like this game, like I've heard a lot of people point that out, saying, "Yeah, doesn't the game feel like the Spider-Man 3 game, but like a better version of it?" I'm like, "Yes," because I'm like, there's a lot. The Lizard's in that game, Sandman's in that game, Harry Osborn's in that game, and Harry Osborn's your adversary. Also, Spider-Man gets a Venom suit, and he has to fight Venom at the end, and Kraven's in certain versions of that game. I mean, really, I mean, it is really like a love letter to Spider-Man 3, the video game and the movie. Because I'm just sitting there playing, going, this is very familiar, and I'm just like, yeah, this game is very much a Spider-Man 3 love letter. I'm really happy it is, because I really enjoyed playing this game. I was sitting there just playing this game up and down, going, man, I like getting the Venom suit, and I like how the suit's not just a cosmetic. Like you feel like this is a completely different thing. This is a completely different character, rather than it just being like, okay, hey, look, it's just a cosmetic item. I like that. Obviously, I kind of wish like you would have I like how his voice gets darker, and like how like the Venom, like you could swing around with the goo suit, and I just like it how the suit you can see it's moving around your body, and I thought that was really cool. I also like that Craven is like a badass in the game. By the way, Craven is not to mess with because Craven, like, but you know, we've seen the opening scene of like is basically the first gameplay footage they showed us, and I love how Craven, like, there's a scene where Mary Jane, you have to play a side mission as Mary Jane to rescue Dr. Connors, and then Mary Craven is just like literally shows up right behind you, and it's just like, oh, like when you're in the cage, and I'm like, I was expecting that, and it did not disappoint. And Craven is just brutal. Like, he don't care about killing anybody. Like, he stabs Spider-Man and he just doesn't have remorse or nothing. It's like, yep, like that was that easy. And then Venom, like when he sees Venom, like, Harry Osborn in the Agent Venom suit, it is so cool. In the game, like that, him, like, in his last hunt, especially in spoilers, by the way, if you haven't played the game, him especially at the end of the game, Craven has something traumatic happens where something happens to Craven, and I'm just like, wow, that is essentially so brutal. Like, oh wow, like I was like, did not expect it to be that messed up. I'm like, what? This happened? I mean, it has a lot of love letters to different things. It feels like it's a love letter to the Tom Holland movies. It's a love letter to the Sam Raimi movies. It's a little bit of love letter to the Andrew Garfield movies, and it's even a love letter to the Sony Venom movies, because literally the line "We are Venom" is in the freaking game. Like, and I'm just like, yeah. And then when you become Venom, I just literally jammed a Venom by Eminem, and I just sitting there just playing out. I was long over while I was playing as Venom. Yeah, you could play as Venom for like one mission, but it's a long mission. It's really good. I really enjoyed it because I was like just wrecking people as Venom. And I also like all the suits you get in the game. Like, you get obviously every single suit that was in all the movies. You also get like a lot of new suits that they created. And you get to, like, have different versions of the Venom suit. And I really enjoy that, Miles, you get to play as different suits. You even get like a couple of cool suits, like Craven variant, Wolverine variant, and you also get like a Black Panther variant, and I believe there's one more, a Mysterio variant. I'm like, this is really cool. I really enjoyed that. And the side missions are really cool where you get to fight symbiotes, and there's also like Craven. And every time you get these villain bases, you would essentially get the suit earned to you. And I do also enjoy that, there's a lot of traversal way where you can just go around to these locations, and just go and do this mission very easily, and just to collect all the stuff. And yeah, there is not there. I will say there is some things I did not like about this game. I know that there are some glitches in the game I experienced at the beginning of the game. Like, I didn't have my game drop but once in the game, when it was just when I was traversing somewhere in a Venom suit, in one of the variant Venom suits, because the game has a cool thing where you can customize your character, but you'll get different color shades for it. So like, you'll get like a Spider-Man suit, then you'll have different color shades. But except for like the movie-based color suits, those are like one dimension, but every other suit is color variant. And so I was like around a bit purplish Venom suit, and then of course the game dropped on me, and so I reported it, and then it didn't happen afterwards. And then on top of that, when I at the beginning of the game, when I was playing as Miles, you're like in a ship or something, and the thing turns around, and then of course I fell, and then it just drops me into an abyss, and then I had to restart the last chapter. I had that twice, something like that happened twice. One with Miles, and then one with Peter, where I was going to see Harry in like the Venom tunnel, in the sewer tunnels, and then all of a sudden I got trapped in the abyss again, and I had to restart from checkpoint. That happened twice to me, and I didn't like that. And on top of that, one thing that irked me more than anything is when you would fight a villain like the Lizard or Venom or something, then the villains, you fight them, like the Lizard, you fight them, take out their health bar, then they respawn their health bar, and you just get a cutscene, and then you fight them again, and then it just does it again and again, and you're just getting repetitive. Then they fly away, you have to chase them. Then you fight them one more time, and it's like, I fought you like 3 times, okay? Why do I have to fight you 3 times? Why not one good time? Why not a very long, processed out fight? Like halfway through the bar, then you go away and fly or something, and then we'll come back. Rather than it just being like, okay, I have to fight you 3 freaking times. Every villain's like that in the game. That pissed me off. Venom's like that. Craven's like that. Freaking, Lizard's like that. It just really irked me more than anything. It was really pissed me off, actually, because I was like, I hate doing this more than anything. I hated doing that. And I just like, after I defeated Craven for like the 30th time, like, really? Like, again? I just did this. And that kind of irked me. And there's a lot of dodging in the game. Most of the game is you dodging. That's what I hated about the fighting mechanics. It's just mostly, okay, they're going to come at you. They're too overpowered for you. So I dodge. And then, because they're going to hit you, and they hit you regardless, whether you dodge or not. Because even if you parry, if you don't parry at a certain time, then they beat your ass. It's just like, it just become repetitive. Even on the easiest mode possible, which is Friendly Neighborhood, is still they parry. It's really freaking annoying. I got really annoyed by that. And also also this is like a little gripe, but like there's no time of day cycle, so basically you're stuck on day, and I'm sure that they're gonna fix that with a patch. That I mean, a lot they seem like that's what they're hinting at fixing, adding a day and night cycle. Also, and also I didn't like the fact that like you can't go back into Peter, like they're talking this up like, hey, we're gonna go to Aunt May's house. Aunt May's house is an explorable location. Yeah, in a freaking story mission. That's it. You walk in there and then you look around. That's it. At least Feast and Octavius's lab were accessible throughout. And I actually thought that the Emily May Foundation was explorable, so I didn't really explore it that much. I'm like, I'll figure I'll just do it later. Nope. That's just look at it. And I also thought it'd be cool if they had Visions like Academy explorable, but nope, that's not either. And so I'm like, all right, what about Peter's, Aunt May's house? Nope. So basically, once you explore those in the story mission, you're not going to be able to explore those again unless you want to replay the game. And that kind of irked me as well. And so also, and I do think also I do kind of miss that when you could just go get all the skins at first. This time you have to level up to get all the skins versus when I liked when you just had to collect backpacks, because really there is no collections you get. It's mostly just like you go around collecting little bugs and everything, like these little spider bots. And then you also collect a piece of Sandman, and then like once it builds something together, they're like, oh, cool, ain't that crazy? And also this game very much ties into the movie in a way, into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, because there is like a side mission where you collect the boss, and it's from a deleted scene of Into the Spider-Verse, where I'm guessing, and apparently this was mixed, I guess they were in cahoots with each other, so they put Across the Spider-Verse bug in there and Into the Spider-Verse bug, and then you're supposed to go up there, and then like you see a character from the deleted scene of Across the Spider-Verse, and then I get the ball and say, hey, thanks. And so yeah, I thought that was cool. And also Visions Academy is very much mild after after the movie version of Visions Academy, which is cool. I really like that Visions Academy. I do mad that they destroyed the high school at Midtown, because it's just like gone now, so I can't go up there because it's just a giant bunch of debris. That kind of bummed me out. But I did enjoy everything else about the game. The game was really fun. I really like the graphics, how like there's like the central pack looks packed, and like a lot of the buildings look brand new and added more stuff to the map. It's not just the same map from the first two games. Like that was my biggest complaint with Miles Morales. It was just the same map but with snow and a couple of new buildings. Versus this map, where I got lost in the city a couple times because I'm like, this is a much bigger city and this is a much bigger areas. Like they added more buildings and added more things into this building where I felt more like a fish in a giant sea. And I really like this game. This game was really fun. Besides my gripes, I really enjoyed this game. It is fantastic. I urge you to play this game. It's a very fun game. If I had to give this game a grade, I would give it a 9.7 out of 10. Thank you so much.
PlayStation